Good morning, everyone. This is Kathleen, and I'm here to show you this second sunflower journal, journal number 2, and this is kind of just a documentation before I send it off because it has already been sold. So let me just show you. I have used the same beautiful digital image here on the front of this one as I did on the last one. But I changed the collage just a little bit, used this really beautiful yellow button, and then did the bead closures again. Yeah, it's pretty chunky, this one. It turned out to be 3 signatures this time with 160 pages. There are 36 pockets and tucks, 44 pieces of ephemera. It has a 1 1/4 inch spine. It is 8.5 by 5.5. And on this one, the cover was in just a little bit rougher shape than the other one. And so I had to do some mixed media, and I chose to do that acrylic glaze with the ragging technique, that I have done before. And I have a video explaining how I do that. And I will list that in the description in case you want to see how that's done. So let's go inside and just take a quick look. I'm not going to go over everything, but I am going to show you a couple things that I think are real special. Other than the acrylic cover, I do love these images. It's called Timeless Sunflower, and I will list a link to the images below. And here I've just done some journaling paper, done some stenciling and a stamp there. I have also some images by the Graphics Fairy. Here's another image from the kit though. And I've done a little bit of digital stamping this time, so that's kind of fun. Here's vintage playing card, and here's a little envelope from the kit, and I just have some ephemera in there, little tickets and a couple things, and that just slides in here. Here's a little altered paper clip that kind of holds them in there. Some vintage ledger from a notebook, little detail stamping. This is with my leftover acrylic glaze. I did this little paper sack as well, and then did a little collage decoupage napkin there. This is just a beautiful image of a sunflower. I have a file in my images, and this is just a crumpled piece of journaling paper. And because this has that little fold, right under here because of the paper sack, you have to slide it in under that from this side so that it doesn't get hung up on it. And I've done one of these over the page flips. I'll just kind of show you how that works. And then I did some stamping and dyeing. And here's a little pocket on this side with a journal card. And that just sits over this page. And then I have one of those little tiny paper clips to hold it on. Some journaling paper. There's plenty of room in here for writing. This is a pretty journal card. I've used some texture paste just on a coffee dyed index card. This is from the kit. This is a double pocket, and I've made, here's some texture paste again, just a little card, some vintage note paper, and brown sugar pecan rounds. It's a vintage cookie recipe. Oh, these digitals really are pretty. Vintage paper there, some writing. This is just a simple patch envelope, and I did just some stamping with ink on this is a vintage index card, and then this is some pretty paper. I don't know what it's from. It was just in my stash, and but I thought the color was so pretty. It went so well with the bright yellow. Some washi tape. Here's some more smooshing and stamping. This is a little coin envelope, and this is another piece of that paper, and I've just made this little tag with a bead charm. Another really beautiful image of the sunflower. Here's just some coffee dyed paper, and I just done a real simple little collage, sewed that image on. It was a ticket image from the Timeless Sunflower Kit. Some pretty vintage science paper, and there's another digital stamp. I've done that torn paper edge. There's a video also on this. I will list all of these videos in the description. So I just used some torn paper and then a punch of the leaves. There's just a bow tied on this big tag. This is a playing card and a masterboard with some napkin on there. Oh, this is a little bit of Tim Holtz sticker, bidding farewell to the warm, merry day. Pretty soon it will be autumn. That's what sunflowers teach us. Pretty paper again. This is one of the images I've been saving for a special book. So, Kay, you've got my favorite image from Carl Larsson. He's a Swedish watercolor painter. Historic. He's no longer alive, but I love these sunflowers here. Yeah. And then I've just done some smooshing there, some washi tape. This is more from the kit. Here's a little pocket that I have inserted in the binding, and one of the images with just some little fabric tuck up there, stapled on. Recipe page, washi tape. This is vintage paper. This is another one of the really beautiful tag images, and I printed just some grid on the back. And this image did not come from the kit. I think this is a Graphics Fairy image. I've just done some fabric ruffle there. This is just a funny little torn papers. I just have kind of layered them together and hand sewed it and folded it up and done a little stamping with some chalk. And yeah, I've just kind of made that look like clouds on a summer day, late summer day. The clouds where we are just beautiful. The sky is so big because, you know, we're way out, and there's nothing on the horizon. And so the sky is a major part of my life. Here's a little tab on this side, a top tuck, and I've just done this little journal paper. Here's a little lace and button down there at the bottom. Another image with the grid on the back for journaling. Here's the other side of that pocket, and State Electrical Supply from Albuquerque. I don't know how old this is, but it's a nice color. Here's another digital stamp down here. And some more smushing. And this beautiful image is in the kit. And I just have inked and stamped, thinking. I love using distress inks. Vintage book page. Here's the other side of that Carl Larson page. Vintage ledger. And I just have a little clip there to kind of help them stand up. Here's another piece of vintage note paper. It's in that pretty green stenographer's type color. Yeah. It's a little bit of just a little decoration embellishment for the page. I don't think that would really hold anything, but you could try it. Okay, this is another something special in this book. Okay, this is just a digital pretty image of a sunflower, but this was one of my favorite pieces of vintage ephemera that I've had in my stash. It's official Navy photograph envelope for negatives, and I've just included this piece. It's like very thin. You can see through it, so it's like tracing paper, but it has this grid. And it's some kind of a scientific paper. But I just have made this beautiful napkin decoupage with this pretty bird and some other wildflowers here. And I've left it back so it can be journaled on. And there's plenty of room in here for other pieces of ephemera. And then I've just made one of those bent paper clips. And I've just made this a floating pocket. So you can move it around wherever you want to. It just can float through the book. Some fiber there. There's a little flip out. Here's a double pocket, triple pocket actually. It's just some more of that smushing ink. So there's a pocket up here, and there's a pocket behind, and then there's this little tag in this little candy bag that I have embellished. So this is some shiny embroidery floss. And this is another kind of fun thing. I just made this pretty little pocket here. It's a simple pocket, but I've just embellished it with this. It's part of a doily and a little ribbon leaf. And then I have, this is another really fun piece of vintage ephemera. This gal in a park, and it is from Hall's Vegetable Sicilian Hair Renewer dye for the whiskers. Yeah, anyway, it's some kind of an ad, Victorian ad. And then this is from 1948, Columbus, Kansas. And yeah, so I just think those look pretty here in this pocket. And these butterflies and the clock. Yeah. So vintage receipts in this little pocket of bee skips. This is vintage stationery that I have just folded so that it has just this little interest up here at the top. And there's the shorts here. And I have made this writing paper. So part of it is from the kit, and then it's just inked on the back. This is that paper, you know, when I get it wet, it kind of becomes textured and it's really fun to write on. And this image is also in the kit. Pretty, this cottage. And the final little tuck spot. And this is also vintage stationery, really textured, really pretty. It's going to be fun to write on that, I think. Put it that way. And this just tucks in there. Here's another clip to kind of hold everything in there. And then on the inside and the back, the front and the back, I've done this sponging. And yeah, so that's it. That's this Sunflower Journal number 2. Now you just have to wait for number 3. Sunflower journals are pretty popular right now, apparently. Thanks so much for spending time with me, and thank you, Kay, for purchasing this book, and I will see you again.